is a common concept desired by people of all ages for survival, as it builds, strengthens, and restores, but insecurity destroys, separates, and creates a toxic atmosphere in the environment and in some cases makes communities unsafe for human existence. Insecurity among global communities has become a general and disturbing phenomenon. Nigeria is not immune to the security challenges, as it is a shared experience amongst some federating units and their neighbors. Niger State, Nigeria, better known as Power State, and regarded by many as one of the most peaceful states in the country, is equally facing some confrontations with outlaws bent on disturbing the peace and tranquility of the state.
We have 4 local governments that have been under threats by bandits, mostly in Rafi, Mariga, Shiroro, and Muya local governments. The operations or the activities around Mariga and Rafi is mostly of bandits, cattle rustlers, which is being looked into at the moment.
Security issue is a national one. If you do a scoping of what is happening across the country, of course, there is no one single state that could say that it has no security challenge.
Realizing that security is the primary role of any meaningful government, the Governor, Abubakar Sani Bello-led administration, employed kinetic and non-kinetic strategies to conduct combat missions to subdue crime and criminality, including banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and other forms of 21st century crimes.
Niger State has been relatively peaceful, even though we have, huge size. We are, 10% of Nigeria's, landmass. A lot of it is dotted by, forest reserves and forest estates. But in spite of all of that, the government has maintained, a record of, maintaining, peace and security, law and order. And that is why it has been able to achieve, this much progress in terms of, the provision of dividends of democracy. So Niger is not an exception. Of course, we have had a share, of this insecurity challenge.
It is in the best of our collective interests to provide safety and peace for all, so that when we leave our positions, we also will enjoy the benefits of a safe environment.
Niger State government distributed Hilux vehicles and joint military operations, rehabilitated many police stations and outposts, and has sustained war against armed bandits, kidnappers, and cattle rustlers.
We have so far given 89 operational vehicles, 283 operational motorcycles, 30 bicycles, 4 tricycles, in addition to funding the various security operations in the state. These are in addition to 17 Nissan vehicles and 2,300 motorcycles as mobility support to the vigilante corps in the state.
His Excellency is highly committed. He has invested so much in terms of security infrastructure, provision of equipment, and of course motivating, the security personnel.
The state branch of Vigilante Group of Nigeria also got a leg up in the fight against insecurity.
We've been able to, consolidate the Vigilante, platform. And this means that we've been able to draw, very committed, members of our communities in all the local governments.
The state government also put a lot of resources which have gone unnoticed since security issues are confidential.
We remain resolute in our total commitment in ensuring the security of lives and property of our people in consonance with President Muhammadu Buhari's fight against insecurity.
Sincerely, and I mean sincerely, appreciate the governor for giving us this massive land and some structures. And I want to use this school as permanently as agro-industrial school.
We have put in place a lot of efforts to see that we address these issues permanently. The process is ongoing, and we don't want to jeopardize the effort by the security agencies.
Other strategies evolved by Governor Abubakar Sani Bello include regular visits to the service chiefs, seeking drastic action taken against the bandits, got some share of response, even though the total defeat of bandits is far from ending.
Thank and appreciate His Excellency for all the support, for all the effort is doing to support our operations. And I would assure you of our commitment and effort towards improving the security situation in here.
I must thank the Chief of Army Staff and the entire Nigerian Army for the support so far. This is the only country we have, and we have to work together to ensure that we safeguard this place. We must also see the military and all security agencies as our friends and partners in this fight.
The state government also offered some of the bandits amnesty, having been profiled and interrogated, and even provided some of them a means of livelihood to bring the ugly trend to an end. But the bandits were, however, bent on a collusion course as they continued to unleash mayhem on some communities in Niger State.
While the security agencies and the states and federal governments are doing their efforts, we're calling on our citizens to pray in their mosques, in their churches, for God Almighty to bring this to an end.
We deem it necessary that we should organize ourselves and return to Allah Ta'ala, seek for His forgiveness, to repent of our sins, and ask for His intervention over this insurgency and terrorism that has been bothering Niger State.
We have been praying ever before the call of government. We continue to pray, but the government has called for religious bodies to pray. It's a highly commendable step, because it shows that they say God is the ultimate and God is the answer.
There is no gainsaying that the current security situation in the country is innovating. However, it took a hydra-headed dimension in Niger State because of its size, bordering many troubled states like Kaduna, Zamfara, Kebbi, and most regrettably, foreign bandits who invade the state, carry out their nefarious activities, and recline back to their hideouts.
Because we share boundaries with Kaduna, with Kebbi, with Zamfara, a lot of these bandits find sanctuary there, but they come into our communities, within a few hours, they do whatever they want to do and they go back. And we have been able to now profile these communities.
The strategy of the bandits and criminals and armed robbers, whatever you want to call them, keeps on changing. As they are changing their strategies, we also are changing our own strategies. But I can assure you that I'm very hopeful and very confident that Niger State will definitely go back to its position as a very safe and peaceful state.
In a bid to speak to bandits in a language they understand, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello declared war on bandits and criminalities in Niger State, and it is commendable.
Generally, the situation is a bit calm in some emirates. The security agencies have stepped up their game, and I think they are performing to our expectation.
However, the rural banditry heightened in the state precisely 14th and 17th of February 2021, when the NSTA bus passengers and the Government Science College Kagara students, staff, and relatives were abducted at close interval of 3 days. The two incidents occurred in Rafi local government area of Niger State.
We've had situations of such activities in the past, but not to this magnitude. And the fact that in the NSTA bus we had lots of pregnant women with babies, and at the Kagara school we had lots of young boys, It was devastating to hear that they've been abducted. Furthermore, within that period, we had very harsh conditions. It was full of dust and harmattan. And to have pregnant women and kids exposed to a harsh weather at that time was also very disturbing.
Governor Abubakar Sani Bello visited the joint security operatives stationed in Kagara. Since insecurity reared its ugly head in worrisome dimension in Niger State, one policy stand of the state government is zero ransom payment to bandits.
It is not our policy as a government to pay ransom to bandits. As we have seen and noted that they use the same ransom to purchase arms and ammunition.
Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, in collaboration with security operatives, traditional rulers, and other critical stakeholders, secured the release of the kidnapped victims. Following series of dialogue, consultations, hard work, and sleepless nights. Having secured their release, the kidnapped victims went through a thorough medical therapy and evaluation before they were reunited with their families.
We were committed to making sure we brought everyone back home safely, which we did. It took some time, yes, but eventually we brought them back home.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who sent a high-powered delegation to Niger State, applauded Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, the nation's security and intelligence agencies for their efforts.
It is true that the federal government will apply everything at its disposal, both kinetic and non-kinetic.
I want to assure you, like I said, no effort to be spared. But we endorse the approach the governor and the people and the government of Niger State have taken already.
With the abduction of students of the Salihu Tanko Islamic School in Tegina, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello took another landmark initiative by constituting a crack team comprising military police, civil defense, and members of the state branch of the Nigeria Vigilante Group. The effort was aimed at conducting combat mission with a view to ensuring safe return of the kidnapped school children.
Now they've started attacking Islamic schools, and only God knows what next. We are determined to take necessary steps to deal decisively, using whatever means to apprehend those are involved, both the informants and the bandits, the operators.
The Islamic school children kidnapped on the 30th of May 2021 regained freedom after more than 80 days with their abductors. The school children were immediately taken to a public health facility for thorough medical examination and declared fit to join their families, except for 4 of them who required additional medical attention. The return of the abducted children brought an end to days of sleepless nights, filled with fear, agony, pain, and despair to parents, the management of the school, and key government officials, as well as men and women of good character. Niger State government management of the school, parents and the abductees appreciated government at all levels, security operatives for securing the release of the abducted children.
You know, God is in control and God has answered our prayer.
Of course, by the grace of God, to be operational. It will be. This incident should not discourage us. If Allah discourage us, then what is the fate of the children?
We will continue praying. We will continue praying to the federal government, state government, and the local government level so that this will not occur again.
Families dislodged in parts of Shiroro and Monya local government areas of the state were temporarily camped at the IBB Primary School, Mina. Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, alongside key government officials and the Emir of Mina, visited the victims taking refuge at the IBB primary school and pledged continued support to the displaced persons.
There are some other communities that we think are safe, they can go back, but the vast majority of them will have to remain here because their villages, their towns have been taken over by bandits.
Because of Kuti, a lot of communities have been affected. Some of our people are still on and hanging in the bush.
As part of efforts to curb banditry and other forms of crime, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello met the members of the state branch of the Nigeria vigilante groups at Kaswangarba in Mariga local government area of the state to boost their morale by offering more support in the fight against banditry, kidnapping, and cattle rustling.
At this point, we'll support our vigilantes with whatever they need as long as they address the situation. Definitely, I have no doubt about it. Whatever they need, we'll support them with.
We are among the first few states that are establishing an umbrella, vigilante system, because we believe that, 60 to 70% of our communities and population are not policed. So those ungoverned spaces, need to be, provided for, to guarantee, some emotional security, around our communities.
A quiet and sleepy settlement in Mariga local government area, sacked by suspected bandits, has been taken over following concerted efforts made by the state government and the special joint security operatives deployed to flush out bandits. Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, alongside key government officials and heads of security operatives, rode on motorcycle for about an hour to get to the community. On arrival, the governor's mission was declared to access the damage done to the ancestral home of the agricultural workers and pledged continued support to the joint security operatives. The activities of bandits have affected infrastructural facilities and socio-economic life of the people. The visit provided the governor opportunity to assess damages inflicted on the community, where he pledged to address them.
This village you're seeing here, there is not a single soul. They've all been displaced. For now, we have taken over the village. There are 4 more villages around here that have been displaced, and hopefully in the next few days, we shall take over those villages.
I want to assure you that the state government is actually forthcoming with the logistic of men that you see here. This is a battle we've been on for the past 6 days.
Women of Kundu community, where officers and men of the Operation Puff Harder are camped, came out in a record number to block the convoy of the governor to protest the proposed redeployment of the security operatives from the area. A courageous and sensitive herdsman, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello pledged to continue to provide adequate security to maintain law and order in the area. The joint security operatives stationed in Kundu village near the forgotten colonial capital of northern Nigeria, Zungeru, had earlier repelled attack by armed bandits. Many of them were said to have been killed, while 2 of the security operatives lost their lives in the gun battle and 2 others sustained injuries. Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, in company of heads of security agencies and other critical stakeholders, inspected the area used as cover for bandits to launch attack. Niger State Governor equally took a major decision to ban commercial motorcycle operation in Minna, the state capital, as part of efforts to check 21st century crimes. The ban will be extended to cover all parts of the state.
As part of security measures, I wish to announce the total ban of all commercial motorcycles Okada in the state capital, Minna. However, private motorcycle owners will be allowed to operate in the daytime with restriction from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Other measures adopted to check insecurity are ban placed on sale of petroleum products in jerry cans. All filling stations should not sell petrol of more than 10,000 naira, and should be wary of vehicles or motorcycles coming for repeat purchases, as well as suspension of trucks conveying firewood and timber across the state. Illegal motor parks in Minna metropolis have also been banned for the security of commuters. Other strategies evolved by the state government to check security challenges include ban placed on weekly cattle markets, and any vehicle carrying cattle into the state must show evidence of the origin, where they were purchased, and their destination. Governor Abubakar Sani Bello has equally engaged the traditional rulers, considering the role they have been playing and can play in mitigating the insecurity which poses a threat to peace and harmony in the country.
Building a consolidated effort through deployment of ICT. And I think this is one exceptional area that this government has done well in terms of investing in ICT. And this means that you do not necessarily need to have a large population of manpower to deal with it. You can deploy just one or two ICT equipment and you'll be dealing with it.
Governor Abubakar Sani Bello-led administration, in its bid to match words with action, has demolished 2 structures belonging to a suspected kidnapper located at Nikangbe area of Minna, the Niger state capital.
Since it is in our policy not to allow any criminality to reign in this state, the law enforcement agency, in partnership with the state government, are so happy that we are able to establish this trend that henceforth we will not allow any criminal to have a place in our land. If you don't want peacefully with people, the law will still catch up with you. So we are more concerned about ridding our community, making it safe for you and I.
The structure comprises a completed 2-bedroom flat where the suspect was allegedly residing with his family members, and another 2-bedroom flat under construction suspected to have been acquired from the proceeds of kidnapping.
Recently we had a meeting with stakeholders in Minna and also in Niger State to see how we can partner together to see that you give information about any suspicious movement in your neighborhood. And today is a landmark. And so I salute our law enforcement agency for this great feat.
Niger state government has also launched Niger Special Vigilante Corps to check the activities of youth gangs in Minna and the state as a whole. The Special Vigilante Corps, drawn from 9 different local security outfits, is to complement the manpower deficit in the conventional security agencies.
The Special Vigilante Corps you're seeing here is to maintain law and order with the police in Minna. They are to complement the efforts of the police so that this menace that's happening with Minna should stop immediately. The local vigilantes in Kaswangaraba are there. They are working under the supervision of police. They are doing their best, and I believe whatever is required or needed by the vigilantes to use to do their duties, I believe has been provided.
The state government, in collaboration with all the 25 LGAs, definitely will not relent. We'll make sure that we give them all the necessary support. We created this and they definitely will not waste it.
Hilux vehicles and motorcycles were also handed to them as part of Phase 1.
So it is my singular honor and privilege to commission this vehicle.
Other phases will be launched in no distant future. Governor Abubakar Sani thanks all women and men of good character for their support, prayer, and understanding in the fight against the 21st century crimes, as it continues to work together with the residents of the state to advance collective security, unity, and progress of Niger State.